Hello! How are you doing, guys? We are here with Are You Hardcore August, and let's all forget that it's 2020 and play some games. Got a really interesting one for you this time. It's a little bit different and a little bit cool. And hey, Guy, it's Guy. You're gonna find out all about Guy soon. Right. Read the book for full details on the rules for this month, and to unlock more Patreon hats and sword skins. Are You Hardcore is a monthly challenge, and you can stay up to date by following the Mob Cave on YouTube. Link in the book. Alrighty then. So, let's find out what this month is all about. August 2020, Defender. Click here, click here, click here. All good things. More click ears. You know this by now, but make sure you unlock your Patreon reward right here if you are a Mob Cave patron. Right, this month. Waves of enemies are coming for your friend Guy. Your task is to defend him at all costs. Waves come 5 minutes before every 20-minute marker, starting with a meteorite shower. Right. So, Guy down here is the guy. He is the guy that you have to protect. You're going to have waves of enemies coming straight in. The enemies in the waves will come straight towards him and won't even attack you. So your idea, your plan, your aim, that's the one, is to kill them before they reach Guy. But Guy has health. We'll go over that in a minute. Yes, every episode will be kind of pre-planned. 14 minutes in, there will be a meteorite shower, which will cause a lot of damage, and they will drop zombies and skeletons as well, the meteors coming down. The zombies and skeletons won't attack Guy, they'll attack you, so be careful of that. But then 1 minute later, 15 minutes in, 5 minutes before the 20-minute marker, you will have the wave come in. Each wave, well, there are 5 different types of enemy. Watch the announcement video for full details on all of them. We'll go over that in 1 second. Each wave will be harder than the last. That's what I was about to say. The difficulty will increase depending on how many players there are in the world. Yes, it will get harder. If there are more players, it will get harder. It won't be twice as hard if there are 2 players in the world. It will just be a bit harder. It'll definitely be easier in multiplayer than it is in single player. So if you have trouble with this one, then just play it in multiplayer, if you can. And there's lots of replay value anyway, and more stuff. There's some interesting things that I'll get to in a minute, which makes replaying the game very, very cool. But yes, we'll get to that in a moment. Yes, there are 5 different types of enemy. I have a separate video, which I will put into this video. So you'll see that in a moment. I'll roll the VT in a second. But I wanted to let you know that the composition of the enemy waves are random. So it'll get harder each wave, so there'll be more of them, but they are made up of 5 different enemies, which will be randomly selected. Each enemy has a different kind of weight to them, so there are common, uncommon, and rare enemies that you'll get in each wave, but they will be randomly selected. So, let's take a look at what those enemies are right now. Zombie miners are the main enemy you will encounter. They are slow, strong, lethal to Guy, and may sneak through your defenses unseen as they do not glow. On contact with blocks, they will pause for 3 seconds before mining through several blocks. Also, they cannot fall and will instead create soul soil bridges. Phantoms will spawn in the air and fly straight towards Guy. They are fairly fast and lethal to Guy, however, they are easy to see and kill. They die on contact with blocks, but will break the blocks it collided with. Shulker bullets meander towards Guy, breaking blocks wherever it goes. They are non-lethal, but are designed to weaken your defenses. Charged creepers are a rare enemy looking to cause huge damage. On contact with a block, or when in close proximity to an iron golem, they will ignite. Like zombies, they build bridges, and are lethal to Guy. Charged creepers always spawn with a zombie runner in front of them to clear a path. Zombie runners are much like zombie miners, except they move much faster and only take 1 second to mine through blocks. Unlike miners, they glow and are non-lethal. Runners only ever spawn in front of charged creepers. Alright, so make sure that you got all that information down. You can always pause the video or rewind it. make sure you got all the details, but those are the enemies that you'll be facing. Each of them head straight towards Guy, apart from the shulker bullets, which will meander in their own strange way. One thing to bear in mind is that the wave enemies that come in drop 2 iron ingots. Each of them drop 2 iron ingots whenever you kill them, which will be very, very useful, apart from the shulker bullets. And yes. Cool. Moving on. Gear up. Build walls and defenses. Iron golems are a great defense. Iron golems are the main aim for this one. You need to find pumpkins and then find lots of iron to build iron golems, because this is basically like a tower defense game, and your towers are iron golems. So build lots of them. They will wander off. They're like, case in point, there is one iron golem somewhere around here, and he seems to have gone somewhere. So you need to make sure that you're keeping them in bounds. Do whatever you can to keep them around. Guy will drop supplies on the 20-minute markers. So, you now have to be doing lots of building. And as you saw in the enemy video, a lot of them will dig through the walls. So you can slow them down by placing walls down. Yeah. So think about what you might want to use as building blocks. What would be the best use of them? And, have a strategy. All right. Do not sleep. Normal phantoms are off. Yes, because there are the wave phantoms, which are obviously on, but normal phantoms are off. Okay, here we go. You can customize the difficulty on the next 2 pages. Here's the really interesting thing, and why the replay value of this map is very high, is because you can change things. Basically, this map was so hard to balance that I've left it to you. I've gone ham on the customization, and you can set it up yourself. By default, it is almost the easiest of the settings, so you can only really make it harder. Guy has 1 health, 5 health, or 10 health by default. So that's how many times he can be hit by either the zombies, creepers, or phantoms. The zombie miners. Is that what they're called? I think so. Creepers or phantoms. Before he dies and you lose. But each time a zombie or phantom or creeper hits him, that zombie or creeper or phantom will die. So they can't hit him multiple times. So if it gets through and hits him, then he only loses 1 health. He's not going to lose several health. You have strength 0, so no strength effect, strength 1 or strength 2 by default. Also, you have 1 golem egg to start off with, 2 by default, or you can set this to be a little bit easier if you wanted and have 3 golem eggs. Golems are brilliant. I mean, they're stupid as they'll wander off and walk into fire and, that kind of stuff. Fall down holes. So you've got to, be hot on filling up holes and things like that. But they are brilliant at taking out enemies. So having golem spawn eggs is huge. In my playtest, I didn't have any. So bear that in mind. Why I've given you all these things to help out. And finally, phantoms. The phantom enemies in the waves are slower by default or faster. If I actually click on one of these right now, phantoms will move at 2 blocks per second. That's by default. And if you click faster, 2.8 blocks per second. That might sound like a very small difference. It isn't. That is quite a bit faster. So where did that iron golem go? Like, seriously, where? It's just hiding somewhere. See, this is why you got to get in there and block them in as soon as possible. Right. So yeah, there you go. General rules. No cheating. Eat what you like. If you're recording, post your first run. Feel free to play again. Really do play again, because all this customization, but declare it's your X number playthrough. The challenge lasts 2 hours and 40 minutes, and there are 20-minute notifications and a fanfare to let you know when you've finished. Good luck and have fun, and click here when you're ready. All right, that's the everything. That is everything. Except you will start the game with a few items. Obviously, you start with the golem eggs, which I've already mentioned in the book. But you will also have an iron sword and a bow, but with no arrows, to start off the game with, which is nice. And there he is, the golem. What else? You'll start with a TP book. So you have a book which you can open up and click in it, and it will teleport you back to Guy. So it doesn't matter how far you run off in a direction. If a wave is starting, you can immediately teleport straight back to Guy. Right. There you go. So the hot tips for this month: build iron golems as quickly as possible. Well, you need to go out and find the pumpkins as soon as possible and get lots of iron. In between waves, you're gonna have to be getting iron, lots and lots of iron. That's your main resource this game. Also build walls. So block in your guys if you can, and block off Guy from block in your guys and block off Guy from the enemies. Even just one block on the ground, 1 block high. If a zombie or creeper or whatever walk into it, then they'll have to pause there until they've either blown up on it, in the creeper's case, or dug through it. So just 1 block on the ground will hinder their movement. So think about that. Also, when you're building walls and stuff, try not to obscure your view too much, because obviously the zombies, the zombie miners, don't glow. So you won't see them through walls, and they might sneak in and hit Guy. And don't block your movement too much, because you are going to need to be running around and defending the area as much as possible. So if you build walls with no ways over them or whatever, then you're hindering your own movement too much. And finally, have a strategy. You've seen what all of the enemies do, and you know what you've got at your disposal. So go into the game with a strategy and implement it fast. Because that's what you got to do. You got to be running around and doing all the things as quickly as possible. Collect iron, get those pumpkins as fast as you can. You're gonna have to be rebuilding the area because of the meteors, and if any creepers explode. By the way, the meteors are very painful. You really don't want to be directly hit if you don't have any armor on. Ideally, you don't want to be hit by them at all. So be careful when the meteors are coming down. You will be warned a minute before they start coming. But yeah, just make sure that you're being proactive, getting things done as fast as possible. Right? That's everything. Yeah. Too long didn't read? Enemies come in. Kill them before they get to Guy. Guy has 10 health by default. Build walls, build iron golems, and implement a strategy as quickly as you can. There you go. There's your too long didn't read. Guys, this is a really interesting one. I really hope you have fun with it. I've actually had this as an idea for a long, long time, and I'm really happy to finally be putting it out there. I kind of have ideas, potentially, if I have time. I've got a lot of things going on at the moment, but of making another version of this that's just endless. So you just try and survive for as long as possible, and it'll be a proper kind of tower defense game. Probably add more bad guys and even good guys, kind of defenses that you can build, things like that. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. This is the challenge. I really hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I'm Netcase, and I'll see you on the inside. Whee! If you're taking part, why not join the Are You Hardcore Discord to chat with other players and post your videos. Remember that you can support the Mob Cave on Patreon to receive even cooler hardcore hats. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.